Hello, my name is Angel. I am from Honduras. I am a grad student in the Department of Animal and Dairy Science in Tipton campus, and I'm going to talk to you about body condition score in beef cow herd and how important is taking our body condition score. So, in this introduction, the body condition score is the relation of fatness in the body score of our cows. There's two different types of scales, one that goes from 1 to 9 and one that goes from 1 to 5, in which beef producers like to use the scale from 1 to 9 and dairy producers most commonly will use the scale from 1 to 5. It is a very practical method that evaluates the body energy and the relation of the fatness in the body. To measure the body condition score, we need to look at the ribs, the backbones, the hips, the brisket, the pin bones, and other physical aspects in our cattle. There is an example of two different scales and what it's taking consideration between the score we gave and the description of how the cow is in that moment, in which we can see there's physical weak, muscle atrophy, outline ribs, outline hip, fat in the brisket, and other aspects in which the scale from 1 to 9 will say that 1 is thin, extremely thin, and 9 will be very obese to thick. And the 5-point scale will be the same, in which 5 is extremely fat and 1 will be extremely thin. Both can relate between each other, but the 9-point scale will always be preferred to use in beef cattle and the scale from 1 to 5 in dairy cattle. Here's another example of a scale from 1 to 9 and also some pictures in which we can see an example of how a cow will look in each score in 2, 3, 4, all the way to 8. We can see that in the number 2, the cow is extremely thin, and in the number 8, the cow is looking more fat. There's a relationship between our body condition scores and the pregnancies. There's a Calvin interval in which we know that a cow is physiologically capable to give birth to 1 calf each year. That means that we can have a calf per cow per year. For this, we need to be very efficient in our postpartum intervals. A postpartum intervals is the day in which the first heat will be presented after the calving. What is the relation between the body condition score and the pregnancies, and how the body condition score will influence in how efficient our cows are in the calving interval? We can see there's research done in which they emphasize that body condition scores between 3 and 4 will give an average of postpartum interval days of 80. This means that it's difficult to reach the minimum of 82 days. Why 82 days? Because there are 283 days of gestation, and if we breed our cattle at 82 days after calving, we will have a calf per cow per year. So body condition scores between 3 to 4 will give a postpartum interval of 80 days, and body condition scores between 5 and 6 will give us a postpartum interval of 55. These emphasize that if the body condition scores of our cows after calving are between 5 and 6. They will reach the estrus at 55 days. So we can have a better chance to breed our cows no more than 82 days. This means that we can be efficient on the pregnancies and efficient on the calving interval of one calf per cow per year. What is the importance of having a good calving interval? It's because the function of our cows is to give birth. So if there's a cow that doesn't get pregnant, if there's a cow that the calving interval is 420, 450 days, that means that those days that she's not pregnant, that she's not calving, we're just feeding a cow that it's not giving us any economical aspect. She's not giving us any income because she's not giving birth to any calf. So that's how important it is to have a good calving interval, because the cow will always give us in a certain way an income because she's getting pregnant, she's giving us calves. So the research said that a body condition score of 5 to 6 will give us a really good postpartum interval. We can see that a body condition score of 7 will give us a much better postpartum interval. But what happens in a body condition score of 7? It is not difficult, but we will use too many feed for a cow to reach a body condition score of 7. This means that maintaining all our cows in a body condition score of 7 will increase our costs. And we always try to be efficient in our costs and be efficient in our income. So a good balance between our costs and a postpartum interval in days will be a body condition score between 5 and 6. We don't need to have cows that are too fat, body condition scores between 8 and 9, because that also can give problems at the time of calving. So the average between 5 to 6 will be considered a good body condition score for our herd. Now, how to do a body condition score? There are two different ways. The visual, that will be the one that will always going to be used at any time, and the palpating and visual. The palpating and visual can be done at the time we're working our cattle in the facilities. We can take advantage of the situation. We have our cows in the chute. We can palpate, feel the ribs, feel the brisket, feel the hooks. That also will help us to practice and know how is the body condition scores of our cows. Now, we can measure the body condition score through the whole year. It's not like we're only going to measure the body condition score once a year. It will be good if we measure body condition scores in late summer and early fall at the weaning time to see how our cows are doing, 45 days after weaning to see if our cows are recovering from the weaning period, 90 days before the calving. This will be the last chance of increasing the body condition score of our cows if they are too low. Why? Because to increase 1 unit of body condition scores, it will take 55 to 60 days. So 90 days before calving, we need to check the body condition score to see if we need to increase or improve the body condition score of our cows, giving a high quality feed, high quality forages to help increasing the score to those cows that are going to calve. And at the calving time, it is important to check the body condition score and how our cows are doing at the calving period. So as a conclusion, we need to know that it's very important, very practical method measuring the body condition score. It will help us to see how our cows are doing, if we need to improve on something. And it's a very practical method for the producer. It's important. And we need to consider checking throughout the year the body condition scores of our cow. Thanks.